There are many truths and myths associated with chanting of God's names and its impact. When God's names are chanted and God is remembered at the time of death, the impact is very clear and precise. He goes straight to the abode of Lord Narayan or God, provided he chants it right at the time of death or just before the time of death. The Lord also says in the Bhagavad Gita very clearly, Antkalecha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati so madbhavam yati nastyatra sanshaya. But one must be a little careful about understanding the message given in the Bhagavad Gita, and that message is clarified by the Bhagavad Purana through the story of Ajamil. Ajamil was initially a noble person. Midway, he was enchanted by a prostitute and became so deeply involved with her that he spent all the wealth of his father, late father, in maintaining the large family of the prostitute and in gifting jewelry to her and many other things to her. Sometimes, for maintaining her and for gifting her jewelry, he even resorted to theft and robbery. He would have gone to hell, there's no doubt about that. He grew old, and like all other people, he had to depart this world. At the time of departure, it is believed, it is said, that the messengers of the god of death, Yamaraj, who is also called Dharmaraj, because he does justice, he awards to everybody hell or heaven or whatever, depending on the kind of evil or bad or noble work he has done or she has done. So his messengers came to pull the soul out of the body of this man, Ajamil. When he viewed them, he had a vision of them, he got scared and called out the name of his favorite son, Narayan. Incidentally, the name of that child was Narayan, who he loved a lot. So he called out his name, and because he was calling out Narayan, Narayan, and Narayan is present in every particle of the universe, so immediately Narayan's messengers manifested themselves there and stopped the messengers of Dharmaraj, or the death of God, from taking the soul away from the body of Ajamil. So Ajamil survived, and because he survived, he could narrate the full experience. Now, this incident totally transformed him. He became a noble person again and left doing everything that was evil. He also became a devout follower of Lord Narayana and started chanting his name daily. But that was not the only thing that he did. This is the main message of the story found in the Bhagavad Purana. Unlike what many other saints say, who say that only the chanting of name itself is sufficient for everything, everything falls into place by itself. This story has a different message to give, and that is the right message. You see, this is like much like the situation in which you are given a medicine for control of your blood sugar, which is very effective, no doubt about that, widely experimented, tried, and found to be true. But there are conditions also applied. You should not consume much of sugar. But if you start consuming too much of sugar and also start taking the medicine, how much the medicine will work, you can imagine. So similarly, God's names have absolutely great impact. You start chanting it and it starts transforming you. Not everybody with equal speed, equal pace, but it transforms everybody. But unless there is purification of your heart and mind, Bhava Sanshuddhi and Sattva Sanshuddhi, as said in the Bhagavad Gita, and unless you become noble in your conduct, and unless you become a kind person, you start doing good to others, helping others, unless these things also become a part of your character, simply by chanting the name of God, you may have to take hundreds and thousands of births, see the full impact of the name chanting unfolding. So this is a comprehensive package. Every spiritual practitioner must understand, whichever path he follows, unless he purifies his heart with conscious efforts, unless he purifies his mind with conscious efforts, unless he transforms his character and his conduct with conscious efforts, he is going to take a lot of time in spite of 24 hours chanting of God's names. Therefore, when Ajamil chanted God's names at the time of death, and he got a miraculous result of his life being saved at least, the Bhagavad Purana even states that the man having transformed himself, went to Gangadwar. Gangadwar was the earlier name of Haridwar. So in Haridwar, he stayed for some time, quite a few months, and repurified himself and chanting the name of God, Narayan. He went to Vaikuntha, his supreme abode, and the same messengers came to take him to the supreme abode of God. Therefore, all of us must remember that God's name are highly purifying, but they take time to purify you. Unless you make conscious effort at purifying yourself, the names alone will not have that impact which they are supposed to have. One must understand that the name chanting is so powerful that one can attain salvation, attain mukti, attain moksha in this life itself. All his sins of the past will be washed away. All his sins. He need not go for penance as prescribed in the Manusmriti for each and every sin committed by him. All his sins will be washed away without doubt if he chants God's name, purifies himself fully, his heart and mind, is fair and just to everybody. Then before this life ends, he will have secured Vaikuntha, moksha, salvation, nirvana, kaivalya.